Alright, everyone, welcome back to the Female Esports League. We had an extended break, but now we are finally at our final games of the day, and it's going to be between Quazar Athena up against HertzABT. We saw HertzABT go through in the quarterfinals, and now we are, or rather, in the first round, and now we are into the semifinals, or rather, the quarterfinals right here to see who's going to make it into the semis. And it looks like we will have Athena on the blue side. Hertz gonna be on the red. And as always, if you missed out any of today's matches or any of the past qualifiers, remember to head on down to FSL's Facebook page and Instagram to get all the news and updates, as well as watch the past VODs for the matches that have gone in this and last month. Remember, FSL Elite will be happening, but we'll let you guys know. So if you want to catch on that, remember to follow us, and we'll drop those dates really soon. Meanwhile, we're gonna be having Athena pick up the Yon, Zeno as well as the Florentino, and Hertz pick up Violet, Tane, and Illumia. So Illumia, not too bad. Had a couple of showings today. Pretty good fights that I've seen coming up from Illumia's. The only downside about Illumia is that she doesn't really offer much in terms of team utility. She does have the global CC, which is more than good enough. But you know, the damage wise is pretty lacking towards the late game, early game when she hits that level 4. It does hurt for quite a bit, but as time goes on, when you start to get all those armor and magical defenses, especially the amulet, that that damage becomes quite negligible. But coming into the second phase of the draft, we're gonna be seeing the Florentino pickup. Looks like they're gonna be banning the Zephyrs. We already see the Crixie get the ban out. Same goes to Astrid. I gotta say, it's pretty rare to not see any of the heroes which I think could come up. I mean, we saw a Whips today. We also kind of saw a any of the heroes that we've seen that's not this surprising. I don't think so. I think we've seen so far all the heroes that we've seen today are pretty straightforward, other than a couple of rare appearances like Scud, as well as Illumia. Other than that, it's not too bad. However, with that being said, it looks like we will be banning on the Liliana as well as the Crickneck. That is pretty surprising indeed. Not so too surprising, but I'm more surprised at the Astrid ban. I think they might feel that Astrid is someone they don't want to do with the top lane. Although Astrid has had her fair share of win and loss rates.
Blue team's turn to pick.
Looks like we're gonna be seeing the Yena pickup for Hertz. We haven't seen Quillen today as well. Quillen hasn't been played throughout today's matches. I mean, he is a pretty decent hero. It's just that kind of lack in terms of CC, a lot of burst damage. Don't get me wrong. So he might be available. Same goes for Tulen. Tulen is a mage that's pretty long forgotten in this current meta. He does have a bit of viability in mid, but I don't think any of the players will be going for him because of how off he is right now. Like it's so hard to land his skills because of how cautious everyone is playing, and obviously with all newer heroes having a lot of mobility, it is easy to get a lockdown on Tulen, who doesn't have any form of escape. So it looks like we might see a Volcath down. So it's gonna be a Volcath on the top side against the Yena. Not sure about the execute because I mean, it doesn't provide any sustain in the lane, and it's gonna be pretty hard against the Yena, who can pretty much just heal up with the lifesteal that she has. Although we will see an Isha get picked. Rod still available on the board. Alright, so it looks like we will get that final lock in. It's gonna be a Darcy. So Darcy's gonna be in mid up against yeah, it's gonna be in mid up against Isha.
10 seconds
I think we're gonna be seeing
remaining.
Florentino up in the top lane, or rather Volcav up in the jungle, and Florentino in the top lane against the Yena. Well, Teen and Violet. Teen's gonna be in mid, babysitting of course, and then we're gonna see Violet down on the bottom side, up against that Yon. Pretty interesting drop. I gotta say, I wouldn't be expecting. I don't know. I don't think I would have expected Isha here, but it is a pretty decent hero. No, she has pretty decent amount of damage in mid, doesn't clear speed. Do I like her compared to Illumia? Yes, I do. I actually prefer her compared to Illumia. But like I said, I think Illumia is pretty useful. You know, her ultimate is always a blessing to have in the kit. You know, it's always nice to have that AoV damage, and it's a global skill as well, so it's always prevalent, always relevant in team fights. But I think Isha here does provide a lot more flexibility in terms of how you want to utilize her. Zenio can be coming up mid with Isha, and obviously she will have the furball, which is gonna be the star of the show.
Let the dance begin.
You know, Florentino gonna be clearing up the top side. Meanwhile, we're gonna be having Yarn up against the Violet down in the bot lane. Nothing too much going between these two teams. About these two marksmen. Obviously, you know, Violet cannot afford to keep herself too near towards Yarn. Can't keep taking all this damage. It's probably gonna try to zone her out the first skill and try to catch her out. But now we're gonna see Illumia and Tane. That is not the brush that you want to go into. Avoids that brush in the nick of time. Darcy being able to clear up this jungle before the invade comes in, and they will have their choice in terms of damage. The furball goes in. They might find the first blood right here. The lockdown is complete, and it is the Aisha that will pick up the first blood onto the Yena. Yor will come up to assist the take as well. Chichik going back to bot lane to resume her farming duties. The furball from Ursha is such a pain in the neck, isn't it? Like you think you're fine, and then you know it's already hard enough to get to a mage, and now you include a furball that's right in your face, hurts like a truck when land those hits. Tane soaking a lot of the damage coming from April. Petri taking a lot of damage to the furball once again, and they go right onto it. They collapse right underneath the tier 1 tower in the bot lane. They get the kill onto Tane as well as the Violet. And they get the bonus, which is the Abyssal Dragon. Yon feeling a little bit lucky alongside the Luna. They used the ultimate, but it's a little bit too early. Chikachu all by herself up in the top side against Hyena. But it's currently 3 and L2K goal lead for the side of Athena. And Volcraft having the best jungle phase of her life 1 and 0. Darcy has to be a little bit careful. And Zeno's already level 4, so which means we'll start to see that split push start to come up from Zeno. She's gonna be wanting to split push as much as possible, and then when the team kind of needs her, she can then go for that, ultimate and actually join up the rest of the teammates. Decent wave clear coming in, but here comes the rest of Hertz. The furball will get sent off, and here comes Vocaf. They want to go for the push. They're stuck right underneath the tower right now. They're taking a lot of damage, especially following from the Illumina's ulti. But they lose no one as of yet. They have the heal. They complete the kill onto the Tane, as well as the Darcy. But they lose no one. Absolutely no one. Florentino starting to edge out in terms of farm against Zavera as well. And now Pikachu wants to harass a little bit with the hit. Really good coming in. Vocaf coming in to help as well. The hand comes up, doesn't find anyone. While Aisha tries to harass as much as possible in the jungle of Hertz. Hertz is lagging a little bit behind. They need to buy time for Violet, who's taking a lot of damage down in the bot lane.
A red team tower has been destroyed.
And not only that, Hertz will lose that tier 1 tower top lane without contest. So second Abyssal Dragon up. And once again, the Luminous ulti is slightly a little bit late. A bit of a far-fetched thought for Lumia to actually use the ultimate to steal the Abyssal Dragon, but you can at least try to get the stun in, and while your teammates try to secure that Abyssal Dragon, I think that is a lot more advisable. Athena slowly clearing up on the mid, and here we go. Zeno comes in with the stun. The furball will join the fight. And is it enough though? Yes, it might be. Florentino joins into the fray, and there's the ultimate coming in from Zeno. The holy heal that is needed for the side of Athena to actually go for the push.
Ultimate.
And they get the kill onto the Tane as well as the Lumia. And now they will look to pick up the Dark Slayer. 7-0, 7 minutes in and 30 seconds. They are going for Dark Slayer right here. Hertz needs to apply pressure across the map, so maybe what they can do is, try to get the Tane to push forward, and then, try to find 1 or 2 straight kills. The only issue now is that Quazar Athena's draft isn't the squishiest. Like, they are really people, but they're not that easy to kill because of the movement that they have. You look at Florentino, you look at Aisha, you look at Zeno and Vocaf. They all have full ability. Even for the side of, or rather, even for the hero of Yon, he still has the advantage of bursting down to opponents. If he can get 1 stun in, maybe on the Illumia or even the Darcy, he has the ability to burst them up, and this is what they're training off. They're more than happy to tell Hertz come on down, but look at that. Xenio is really tanky right, or rather Florentino just soaking up a lot of damage right now. And Hertz finally do manage to get one or rather two kills in the back from the greediness play of Quazar. And so we're gonna have a fight for the Spirit Sentinel. Come out right here, Furball jumping right into the fray of three members. Xenio comes up with the heal, goes in with the shield. And the return of the Furball is real. Tane pushing them back, and they finally get the Xenio down. So finally, looks like Hertz will get their first Abyssal Dragon. They still need a lot of items coming up. Especially they need some of the Reaper on the Darcy as soon so that they can reduce the lifesteal coming from Vocaf. But while that was happening, creep waves will be pushing onto the bottom lane. They will get the first tower for the side of Hertz, but now this is the best spot. Vocaf will be able to get the lockdown. Where's the Illumia ulti? She's not able to pull it out. And they will get the first kill and the Violet as well. But here comes the rest of the wipe up. They are cleaning up the entire fight, and there is just absolutely no way out. It's going to be a team wipe, and just like that, Athena managed to get the win. Dark Slayer not even up, but they do not need it. It's going to be a complete and absolutely rout for Hertz, as Quazar Athena will stroll into the base with no one alive on the opponent's side. And it's gonna be a 1-0. Man, that was a masterpiece. Pretty dry game coming in from the first 5 minutes. I gotta admit, we don't see too many of the gangs, but I mean, what a perfect game that was. Near perfect, I would say, because they gave away 3 kills. But that was a close and near perfect. Look at Shika. Shika did really, really well. I mean, she was just farming throughout the entire game. To be honest, I don't think she had too many of her kills. Okay, 5, so she had the most, but she didn't have the most as compared to the other junglers or even the gankers that we see usually in the Krignar, or even even heroes like Zenith or Zephyrus. But she did the job. She got the job done. And towards the late game, I think you gotta give one of the MVPs that I think you cannot forget about this April. April did such a good job on the Xenio. Look at that, 0, 1, and 11. Pretty decent timing on most items. In fact, she didn't even have the time to complete one major item. She did manage to complete the purifying bases. So if you like, that's one item. But usually, you know, when tanks are on the winning side, and you usually get 2 or 3 items. But the game was just completed so quickly, and Quazar was just clearing control out. I mean, from top to bottom, from top lane to mid lane to bottom lane, getting those fights. They did lose one Abyssal Dragon, but that's about it. Other than that, they did absolutely fantastic. Coming to the late game, they managed to catch both the Illumia as well as the Violet out, and with those 2 out, I don't think there is much that Athena can do on her own. Even with the Darcy alongside her, you could see they're just getting stranded, and Tin he could only tank so much. That being said, congratulations to Quazar Athena. They walk away with game 1. Remember, this is a best of 3. So as always, as all the other teams before them, I wish HertzABT all the best. Hopefully they can come back in game 2 and bring us to game 3. We'll go for a short break, but when we are back, Female Esports League with more AoV. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are into what possibly could be our last game of the day with Athena and Hertz swapping sides. We are into game 2 with Athena on the right side right now. They will ban out the Trixie as well as the Marja, and Hertz will be banning out the Yawn as well as the Zip. So they had enough of the Yawn, but that being said, coming to the game 1, I think Yawn was actually picked up by themselves, but I think they do not want to give it over to Athena. I think Athena has played really well, and if you look at the rotation that they had, they didn't really have to work off pressure early game, but in substitute for that, they had other heroes that was doing a good job. They had Zeno, who could apply pressure with the shield. They were also using a lot of those pushes that they had onto the top side to actually push in. So I think this is where these two heroes or rather these two positions are really important, right? Not only jungle but the shield as well. Who you make use of with the shield does play a really big part. So it looks like we're gonna have the Marlock getting picked up. There's a tail analyst, but I'm not too sure if that is the role that they do want to lock in. Previously, there was no Krigna. Krigna was getting banned out, so I think this time around they will, or are considering to pick up the Krigna. Not a bad call though. Like Krigna is still really well. They do ban out the Trixie, so that it is what it is. They can't have the combo, but nevertheless, even without the Krigna and the Trixie combo, he is still a really useful hero. Like he does clear wave very decently at a decent pace. He's one of the hardest hitting tanks. Alright, one of the hardest hitting assassins that can even read through tanks. So that is one of the roles you can look at. And obviously you have Aisha, who was actually picked up in the previous game. But now we're gonna see our first bottom of this as this particular qualifiers. The bottom is really good. Like you have Wild Prison, you know, you can kind of displace your opponents. A really tanky hero that can put out a decent amount of damage, and just overall really good solid tank. I'm pretty surprised that we haven't seen more of him coming into these qualifiers. Looks like we're gonna have Florentino that's gonna be on the top side. So the good thing about Marlock is that he's super flexible, similar to what we had coming in, especially with the Masha. He can actually fulfill a lot of roles, right? He can go to top, he can be in mid with the mid laner, with the mage to actually babysit her. He can be at the bottom to actually bully because he has so much in his kit. He has Cleave, which is at level 1 what I consider to be one of the hardest hitting damaging skills. I think the only other hero which I would say has more damaging skills at level 1 is actually Lubu, right? Lubu, you have 3 hits, it's just a lot of damage in general. You also have a knockup. So other than Lubu, I think Marlock has one of the most punishing skills at level 1. You also have Zen's getting banned out. Florentino's already locked in. We all know how Florentino can work. Florentino is just not a hero that you really want to face coming into the top side, because he has that smaller burst of skill with his passive. He has the first and second skill which has to get closer as well. So he's just an irritating hero to deal with in general. Zeph is getting banned out. One of the heroes that we haven't seen today that was really popular in the previous game is actually Aosu. Aosu, you know, 57 ban rate and 42% pick rate coming into Taiwan qualifiers. It's not too bad. I don't think we have seen a Viras at all yet. 64% pick rate coming into Taiwan qualifiers. Yeah, so I don't think we have seen it too much. Hayate as well. I don't think we have seen a single Hayate as of yet. Although Hayate was really highly picked across the entire, not highly picked, right, but was quite frequently picked every now and then, coming into both the Taiwan and Thailand qualifiers. Looks like they're going to ban out the Yana as well as Athena. Aisha obviously getting banned out because Athena just looks so comfortable in it. But they will get the Zeno because that was actually like true. So you either give the Tane or you give the Zeno. These two are the heroes that you must give up for the side of Hertz. So they decided, you know what, we don't want to play against Aisha, we don't want to play against the Tane. We're more than willing to give the Zeno away. But we have seen what Athena can do with the Zeno, so I'm not sure if that's the wisest choice. Not really too much left on the board for the side of Hertz in terms of meta heroes. Yes, the Omen is good. Omen against Florentino kind of cancel each other out in top lane. I like the Linus jungle. The Linus jungle will have a lot of protection. Only question is, how would you play this Marlock? If they play aggressive, then this Lindis can definitely outfarm the Krigna, because we know that the Krigna will be able to outfarm the Lindis, especially in the first 5 minutes of the game, where he has so much burst, one of the highest clear speed for jungle, and obviously when he hits that level 4, he's going to be so much more effective from Lindis. So I gotta say, if you look at the current draft that Athena have right now, it's so early game, and it's so scary. But if they cannot end the game in the first, like, what, 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, but the first 12 minutes, then they might have a bit of trouble coming to Hertz draft. But Hertz pretty decent as well. Marlock for the early game. They have an Omen that can, kind of soak up damage throughout the entirety of the fight. You have a D-Rock as well as a Lindis that kind of needs a little bit of farm to get popping off. So it's a case where Athena's just
10
rushing the
seconds
early game,
remaining.
right? We have the Illumia, we have the Krigna with the Zenio, a ton of bursts. We're gonna get the Talons to bully you with the range, and then we could get the Florentino to actually hold up onto top. So I'm gonna straight out say, I really like Athena's draft a lot more, because I'm a fan of early game strats, right? I always believe that there is no need to go towards the late game if you can close the game within the first 10 minutes for mobile games. Why not? Why put yourself through the trouble of finding that? Obviously, you need a good draft to be able to do so, and I really do believe that Athena has what it takes. Not only in terms of the draft, but in terms of skill as well. We saw that in game 1. Hopefully, they can replicate in game 2. But at the same time, I'm a little bit torn apart, because I want a game 3. I want to see Hertz be able to have a chance at a fight back.
Welcome to Arena of Valor. Get ready. Minions will be deployed in 5 seconds.
Looks like we're gonna have a little bit of a pause. So update for you guys who have missed out the previous games. We had a couple of games running throughout the entire day. Khaleesi team up against Liab Halia, who actually, the latter actually won, went into the quarterfinals, and eventually lost to Hertz Emote. So they are the first semi-finalists. Hertz Emote, that is. They are going to be going up against M8 Hexa, who won against both Exeter Gaming and had a little bit of a easy walk for NFL ladies, unfortunate for them. So that is going to be our first semi-finals for tomorrow, which we will be streaming as well, same time for today, 12 p.m. So remember to mark your calendars and wake up to watch those matches. I know gamers, you guys don't think I do not know that you guys are always slipping in. So remember to set your alarms at 11 plus, have a good breakfast and get ready to watch me cast some great AoV games. I'm pretty sure that this is the draft. Obviously, if Singaporeans watching, FSL Elite is going to be in Singapore, so you don't have to travel too far to actually watch it. We will be releasing news on FSL Elite on our Facebook page. Remember to follow us on Instagram as well to catch up on all the notices, and you can watch those past VODs on Facebook as well as YouTube. Let's take a look at the game, shall we? Coming into game 2. Alright. Hertz and ABT having a little bit of a brawl down the middle lane. And Athena is gonna be having a pretty smooth. So I'm pretty surprised to see the Marlock is gonna go onto board. I mean, I'm not too surprised, but I really wish that they picked up the Marlock to play a bit more aggressively and not have to go through this. But hey, that's the benefit of picking up the Marlock. It's a kind of a flex pick early game, so you don't have to worry too much. He can do pretty much every lane, like I said, pretty similar to a Maja. So they will put him at bot up against the Telvanas. Not exactly the matchup that you want for Marlock, but he will do fine because he has the Soul Steal, and he also have a bit of cleave for the wave clear. Omen gonna be clearing up the mid while the rest of the teams are gonna be contesting for the first Abyssal Dragon. But there we go, Lindis coming in for the first blood. The cleave will do well. Her is definitely doing a lot better in the first game. But here comes the quick now. They want to get the first return kill for their side, and yes, they will. They blow the Lindis up onto the backline, and that is really bad news because Now the Abyssal Dragon is up, but it looks like we have Shika, who is so focused on trying to make use of this advantage that they have. She's at level 5 already. She will definitely be ahead in front of Lindis, and that's going to allow her to complete her rotation a lot quicker than her counterpart. Meanwhile, top lane, Omen as well as Florentino. Not the most exciting of lanes, it's just two heroes that's going to be brawling back and forth. There we had brawl completed. Let's just catch up on the bot lane. Bottom as well as Malok applying a bit of pressure. Meanwhile, Darcy, they might want to stop the TB coming from Anas, and yes they will. Tana's already out of mana, so they can't really abuse the range. But they still have to respect the damage coming out. Illumia with the stun, and that's going to set up for the crit knock down in the middle lane. No Q, but still pretty decent. That's going to be Soul Reaver coming off the crit knock. Ultimate already on standby. Bottom goes in. They took too much damage, and there it is. He immediately jumps on Darcy. It's going to be a 3-man Q for the side of Athena. And after giving away that first blood, they are getting back their net worth. They will also go for the first Abyssal Dragon of the game. I don't think there can be much contest coming in from the side of Hertz. Net worth-wise, both, you know, marksmen are pretty equal, which is not always the best of case because your jungler should be the highest in terms of net worth. But because of those 2 Qs that Anas didn't manage to get, she is slightly ahead. They're trying to break through Marlock's HP. Illumia are going to be using the ultimate really early. That's going to be allowing them to spot out the Lindis that was coming down to the bot lane. So that's the good thing about Illumia as well. If you pay attention enough, you know, the ulti can review where your opponents are. But here comes Marlock with the stop. That's really good as well. Follow up with the Wild Prison coming in with the bottom. They get the stun in. Oh, the freeze coming up from Illumia. And that Darcy ultimate was put to waste. They get the kill onto the Darcy as well as the bottom. As his dead body lies there, his teammates will watch helplessly as they not only go and invade the jungle, but they will pretty much pick up the bomb turret as well.
A blue team tower has been destroyed.
A little bit of a misclick, I believe, come for April, but then again, all their skills were on cooldown, so they will settle for doing a little bit of damage. Top lane though, Omen using the ultimate onto Florentino. But like I said, the top lane is, as of now, the most boring of all 3 lanes. April holding up mid, soaking a lot of damage, but here comes Anas. Illumia with the ulti as well, but good wall coming out from Darcy just to block the damage. Ooh, and nearly picks up April with the ultimate. Just not enough damage. Pikachu forced to use the flash. So you trade up the Abyssal Dragon for the Spirit Sentinel. But they sense that there is a mid push that's going to be coming, and Shika and Chichik, good map awareness, going to be taking the safe route around the middle bush. And while that happens, they prepare to take the mid lane. They've already managed to push it down, but here comes the push. AJ is coming up from Malok. So like I said, Athena, they definitely do have the better early game, especially Telenas, they're abusing the range. They got Lumia with the ultimate, and they got Krigna with the burst. Definitely scaling a lot better than the latest, but they are on a clock, and their clock is ticking by really quickly. 7 minutes 30 seconds in, they managed to get the steal onto the buff, but it is the heroes that they want. The heal will come through for Zeno, but there is no way the Shika is sticking around for it. Shizu in the middle of it all, they can collapse onto this Omen. One more hit should do the trick. Well, consider that really well done coming in
A blue team tower
for the side of Hertz, but they are still losing towers, so they have to be really aware of what's happening across the map.
Get out of my way! Onward!
Zeno gonna be running into the Omen. Omen with the hook, but doesn't land. So bottom just gonna make sure that the Wizard Dragon isn't started. He will spot the bottom up as well as Lumia ulti coming in. I was about to say that managed to spot him out as well as that, but oh, top lane, Quick Duck with the Q, managed to get the Q onto the Marlock right there, and that's gonna be opening up both lanes as well as mid. They can go for the Dark Slayer if they want to.
Starfall.
But they want to get one more kill before they go for the Dark Slayer. And you know what? They might not even need it. They get the bottom. And they're just happy taking objectives. Towers for breakfast, towers for lunch.
Team tower has been
And now they can
destroyed.
finally get the work started onto Dark Slayer if they choose to do so. But nope. Looks like they want more farm. I'm pretty sure they're gonna give this over to the Quick Duck, who's already hit level 14. Omni Arms comes up, and Florentino is gonna be allowing them to buy a bit of space. He's done well against the Murloc. They see 3 heroes at the top lane, and they know it's good to take the Abyssal Dragon. So Matt Renner's on point for Quazar Athena now. And they know they're on a timer. You can see they're constantly trying to get the pressure onto Hertz. Every single time the Krigna is ready to gang, they group up, they get the Florentino to push the opposite lane, they try to find a pick-off and try to find a tower. So that's the important part. You cannot just keep getting kills without getting objectives, because like I always said, I'm going to say it another time, when the game goes into the later part of the game, whatever advantage that you had, even if you're leading by 10k gold, but if everyone's at max items, that goal lead doesn't matter anymore. And now we're going to stun, they get the Dark Slayer, they can immediately turn the fight. Zeno getting a good job of pushing that bottom wave. He has one stack coming for him.
Starfall.
And we got Tao Anas already starting to do a bit of damage. Does have the ultimate, will take the bomb tower really easily.
Team tower has been destroyed.
Quick now pushing on top. They are really greedy, but it is working out for them. Athena pushing all 3 lanes. And they've got Athena, and they got the ultimate of Illumia on standby as well. And here comes Illumia. Tiana's with the ultimate, they get the flip on. This is a really bad spot coming in, but they managed to get her out of time. No, she doesn't. It doesn't matter. Quicknock now dives on the back line. Illumia with the AoE damage. And that's a little bit of a misplay coming out for Quazar. Tiana's caught out of position, but they might find a consolation. They've already gotten the bomb tower with the Drake. And they know they cannot stick around for long. Without the trusty tail on us, there is no way they have enough range to actually pick up any more towers. 9:4, 12 minutes and 20 seconds in. And it looks like Hertz is already, they are already down to the last two. So hopefully, girls, if you're watching, you need to hang in there. You need to get Lindis to the late game. But only and if only Quazar will allow that. They will go for the Abyssal Dragon.
Kratos has been defeated.
No contest coming up for the blue team. And Shika gonna be the first and only hero to hit level 15 as of now. Getting that max level in is always nice to have. Yami holding for fort, and this is where it gets really bad for Hertz, because Quazar Athena is just gonna use this advantage that they have to dominate map presence, try to steal away the farm of opponent's jungle. Remember, you're not only denying your opponent's farm, but you're making yourself a lot richer. Pikachu doing her best the whole time. And Lumia comes out with the ultimate. It's just a two-man's work, and Xenia will go in. They get the kill. Not only that, they want more right now. Marlock already jumps on the back line, but he doesn't catch anyone, and he's getting trampled upon right now. One more hit, Omen gets out, but it's pretty much GG right here. I don't think one Omen is able to hold back the entire team of Quazar Athena. And look at that. Chichik is going to focus on clearing up the game. Chichik will secure the game, and that's going to secure the semi-final spot needed for Quazar Athena Classic, or rather clinical throughout game 2. Like I said, really aggressive early game, and they knew the timings of the heroes, they knew the perks, and they knew the spikes, and they made use of all of those elements, or rather factors, to get this stomping. When look at the draft right here, they knew the winning condition for them. They knew they had and Lumia, and they kind of bullied that mid lane. They had a Tyrannus who was up against a Marlock. That, I mean, as a marksman, the happiest thing you can ask for is a melee hero that cannot touch you, and the best he can do is actually just push the wave back, because a marksman needs so much time to can farm up. But good thing is, Tyrannus is one of those heroes that doesn't really need too much to pop off. I think she managed to get a Blitzblade, yeah, so she got a Blitzblade. That's a really early game draft. Blitzblade, and then followed by the Claire of Sancti. You go into the Sook Sting, and you have more than enough attack speed, and you just need to focus on, you know, taking those towers. I see a Tomb of the Reaper on the opposite side on the Darcy, but that's about it. I think Tomb of the Reaper is definitely not enough, because at this point of time, no one is sustaining it. Like the draft coming out from the side of Quazar Athena, no, it's just they're not sustaining at all. They're focusing on trying to stop the game early, having burst damage with the Xeno as well as the Quick Knock, and have combined with the burst damage of the Florentino to actually just trash the games out. But with that being said, congratulations to Quazar Athena. So with that, I'll run up the finalists for tomorrow's games. We got M8 Hexa up against HertzABT, as well as Lunar Light up against Quazar Athena. We'll have the brackets flash up for you pretty soon. But before that, once again, a big shout out to our sponsors that you have it on your screen right now. This is going to be really interesting. You know, HertzABT, we've seen them play both games against the Halia, and then obviously before that we saw the Halia managed to win Khaleesi, so those two are going to knock themselves up. Yep, but with that being said, I'm really excited for tomorrow's games. We will be streaming the semi-finals between M8 Hexa against Hertz, and then we'll stream the finals, the grand finals, that is, then we'll find out who's going to make it to the FSL Elite. But with that being said, a final shout out to our sponsors, Dreamcore as our official PC partner, Super Solid as our monitor partner, Yahoo TV as our official media partner, and last but not least, Aftershock as our gaming laptop partner. Thank you so much for watching today's stream. Unfortunately, we have run out for games. My name is Aris. I had a lot of fun casting today's games. You can find me on Facebook as well as Instagram at This Is Aris. And while we're talking about social media, remember to follow and like FSL, that's Female Esports League, on Instagram as well as Facebook to catch up on all the latest updates as well as schedules for FSL Elite. We will launch that as soon as we can, and I will see you tomorrow.